I'm not used to this though.
See, I love recording with other people, but it's so awkward because then I also feel more awkward and you also feel awkward.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to it by myself, but...
Actually, I already used to it now.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm not by myself, but I brought one of my best friends and my current roommate for a couple more weeks.
Andres. That's my name. And normally I'm on the other side of the building because then she's filming a video and I said I want to be part of a video so we can giggle and gaggle together a little bit. So that's why we're here.
So since he proposed being in one of my videos, I thought the perfect idea would be to do something psychology related since we're both certified psychologists. He's a clinical psychologist and I'm an industrial psychologist, but both psychologists in one way or another.
Yeah, we know the science.
Mm.
That's true. It's actually true. We're not even joking.
Yeah, we're scientists.
Literally.
We're women in STEM.
A very serious subject. I think it's very serious. She knows how serious it is. That's why she invited me.
Exactly. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going on TikTok and looking at all the TikTok posts that are on the psychology hashtag. Some of those might be actual good posts and a lot of those probably won't be.
I hope so.
Because we know there's a lot of like charlatan, life coaches, and all of those kinds of things out there. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're here to clock today.
We're here to clock the tea. Can
exactly.
I say No, I can't say
Bleep it.
I bleep it!
Oh
my goodness,
you bleep it. Yeah, it's professional like that.
Professional.
I figured the best plan of action would be to just type in psychology on TikTok because that's the most general term that I can come up with. And we're just gonna see what's posted under that.
That's like psychology.
Psychology, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's not a weird plan, right?
I feel like we should start with that.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be some good content perhaps. No, I don't know. I'm also experienced with certain cringe psychology hashtags, so perhaps we could use that after that.
Such as what?
ADHD checklist, autism checklist,
that's true.
Self-diagnosis, trauma responses. Yeah. I mean, trauma responses are real, but what you see on TikTok is like it's weird.
Okay, so I would just say scroll and see if you find something interesting that speaks to you.
A narcissist's favorite way to manipulate is to only acknowledge your reactions to a scenario rather than their actions that cause the scenario to happen in the first place.
This is kind of brain rot to me. Now, I'm not an expert on narcissism, perhaps because you're a corporate psychologist, you're better at that with like personality type of things, but
I'm dating experience.
It's
I do feel like people are very quick to brand people a certain thing on TikTok. It's like, oh my god, you're a psychopath, you're a narcissist, you're ADHD, you're
autistic, the labels again.
Yeah, it's always the labels.
People who feel irritated when their parents speak aren't necessarily ungrateful or bad children. If you find yourself getting unexpectedly irritated the moment your parents speak, even though you're calm, patient, and composed with almost everyone else, you're not overreacting. What you're experiencing is a stress response, often rooted in years of emotional exhaustion from dysfunctional or invalidating family dynamics. So no, not everyone who avoids their family is cruel. Some are just exhausted from trying to be good in a place that never saw.
Mm-hmm. This is correct. Like, this is something I would use
exactly
in a clinical practice to state why certain patterns are present within a person. So that's completely valid.
According to psychology, the biggest problem for overthinkers is that when they get too attached to someone, their entire mood depends on how the other person responds to them. They are so attuned to other people's emotions that they can notice the slightest change in someone's behavior. Learn to regulate your emotions. If you are being controlled by your own emotions, you will end up hurting either.
The problem with this is that they make statements about overthinkers, but this is not the case for all overthinkers. Also, this is an issue that's not only or exclusive to overthinkers. When you have like bad attachment, or this is also something that can happen. Problematic attachment.
This is like a bunch of different theories mixed into one, where it makes no sense
and
anymore.
Like with some visuals.
In psychology, there's something called the color psychology effect.
Yeah, that's the one we were looking for.
Oh, this is.
I don't know what it is, but I think it's more like of a corporate psychology thing.
I think that one, but I'm not sure that that's where it's going to. But
I saw color psychology effect, and then
the bells start ringing. Yeah. The bells start ringing.
It's the idea that a person's favorite color can reveal key aspects of their personality. Psychologists believe that when two people are drawn to the same color, they may share similar personality traits. Take green, for example. Green is the color of nature. It symbolizes vitality, growth, and hope. It often reminds people of lush trees, quiet forests, and peaceful landscapes. People who love the color green are typically calm and composed. They tend to have strong self-control and resilience under pressure. They're usually logical thinkers who strive for...
It's like, if you like the color green, and then it's like horoscope.
Literally, because it's also like, you know, this wouldn't make any sense if you know that the most popular favorite color in the world is blue. And you're not going to tell me that everyone has blue as their favorite color is similar in personality. That makes no sense. There's so many millions of people that love blue. They're not all going to be similar. That makes no sense.
At all.
My jeans are blue.
Because we believe in the big five. And we don't believe in 16 personalities. We don't believe... Yeah.
Exactly. And this is like what you were thinking of was like the insights color theory or something. I think that's what it's called. I never bothered to learn the name because it's not valid anyway. So this is not exactly that, because I do think for the color thing, the color types, you have to do an actual test and it just gives you a color. It's not based on what your favorite color is. But you know, it's the same kind of theory where a color determines who you are as a person.
Can you imagine claiming, that's the problem, like they're usually logical thinkers who strive for balance in their lives based on the color?
What do you think is the most underrated human truth that a young person should know who wants control or power?
The most important skill that you can have in the work world, in the business world, and in life, knowing how to observe people and not be so wrapped up in yourself and be outer directed. When you're in a situation like you've entered a job for the first time, your tendency is to be all insecure and think, did I say the wrong thing? Am I dressing correctly? Am I fitting in? And you're not observing, you're thinking about yourself. And the whole game is to be observing what people are doing, what they're like, what their tastes are like, what the boss is like. There are all these levels of power going on. You want to get outside of yourself and simply observe, right? And not be thinking about yourself as much. If you become an astute observer, the game will be much easier to manage, right? You will know this is a person who is insecure. I cannot offend them. I cannot say the wrong thing to them.
So the thing is, whenever someone starts referring to jobs as the game, it's a little bit of a red flag to me, because I know there's this very popular book, like, what is it, the 48 Laws of Power? This amount of laws of power, I don't know what it's called. But, you know, there's a root of psychology in there. And what he's saying is not necessarily incorrect. It's not like, you know, being observant is not a bad thing and it will probably help you in certain situations. But this is not psychology. This is like a power play.
The way someone acts when they're drunk, it says a lot about who they really are. 1, the sleepy drunk. The ones who quietly fall asleep after a few drinks.
This is made by ChatGPT. Deep psychological facts.
Try it.
You were the friend that was socially excluded or no one ever picked. Here's what it did to your brain coming from a psych major.
Okay. Let's see.
And if you see me looking this way, it's just me reading off my notes. Number 1 is impaired self-worth and identity formation. Brain uses social feedback to shape our self-concept. Being the unpicked one can lead to self-beliefs like I'm not enough. Number 2 is a heightened sensitivity to rejection. Being repeatedly excluded activates the same brain region involved in processing both physical and social pain. Over time, this can make your brain more sensitive to signs of rejection. This eventually leads to rejection sensitivity, where you anticipate being left out even when it's not happening. Then number 3 is going to be overcompensating or withdrawing behaviorally. Neuroscience shows that chronic social exclusion can alter the prefrontal cortex function, especially in areas related to emotional regulation and social decision-making. Some people respond by becoming overly eager to please, while others withdraw socially to avoid further pain. By people doing this, it reinforces loneliness, which makes them at greater risk for other mental health issues like anxiety and depression and physical symptoms.
This is good because she gives many different outcomes possible. I also did my thesis on social exclusion or loneliness, and like the things she says, they're correct. But this is, you see the difference in style. It's like she gives different outcomes. Yeah, she just knows what's up.
Sometimes it can be a bit of a red flag when you see someone that's still studying and they make content using their studies for clout, basically. We know of some people in our university that used to do that, and often they will use theories and then, you know, use it for certain video IDs, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but they pretend that they know what they're talking about just because they're a psych major. So I was a little bit worried at first, but this is good.
This is good.
This
we
is
like that.
actual factual information.
We like that.
In MBTI, there's a personality type called the mediator, INFP. These individuals deeply fear being disliked by others and worry that if people knew their true selves, they wouldn't be accepted. They tend to live in a state of internal conflict.
Okay.
We're also gonna pause it because we're not even gonna...
Okay, so I need to have my quick rant about the MBTI. So this is something that causes a lot of discussion in our classes, but also, you know, in the general society, because the MBTI is so ingrained in so many different ways in the world. It's literally on Tinder. It's used by certain employers for a sort of test before you get a job interview. It's used for team retreats and like team development, like learning and development initiatives. And the truth is that the MBTI is not scientific at all. It's just as scientific as zodiac sign. And once again, if you believe in that, that's perfectly fine, but it's not scientific. And to base major decisions off of MBTI results is very bad because it doesn't actually reflect how a person is.
It's unreliable and the validity is bad.
6 books that contain more knowledge than a psychology degree.
Studying 5 years.
Number 1, The Laws of Human Nature. This book will help you understand people's drivers and motivations, and after reading it, you'll understand why people do what they do. You'll learn to master self-control, develop empathy, and look behind people's masks. Number 2, Influence. This book is all about the fundamental principles of persuasion. You'll learn all about certain manipulation techniques and how and why people say yes to certain things over others. Number 3, The Psychology of Money. This is obviously one of my all-time favourite books. It explores how psychology impacts personal finance and how you can use human behaviour to make smarter financial decisions. Number 4, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. If you want to know how to acquire power and avoid being manipulated, then this is a book you should absolutely read. In fact, I recommend all of his books. And finally, number 5, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read this, you are totally missing out.
This is like so wrong because this is popular psychology. This is not. It's like more knowledge than a psychology degree, but this is not the science of psychology. This is just popular psychology and saying things and picking some evidence and then claiming certain things. I mean, yeah.
If I saw this bookshelf, these books in my date's house, I would leave immediately. Red flag. Especially
the one with the power. That's a red flag. Also, maybe that's not completely correct that we say that, but it feels like a red flag a little bit. Because why do you want power?
Why do you want power?
That's a question I would ask. Exactly. Why do you want power?
Why do you want money? No, I get that.
10 psychology tricks that feel illegal. 1. Pretend to be busy even if you're not. People treat you based on how hard you are to reach.
Yeah. Just to be clear, these are things we never ever saw or learned in any psychology course we had. Many.
You could say 10 manipulation tricks that feel illegal, not psychology.
It's just we never learned. I wish we learned that, but it's not backed up by anything. But I still feel like these experiences are valid because I know that she can, but it's just like psychology tricks. It's okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't use that
psychology.
word.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, we shouldn't really use that word.
It's a protected term.
Let's protect the term. Let's protect the term for real science.
You have to pay money to have that
but
title.
This is like an individual experience, and it probably works, but it will not work all the time, and then it's kind of awkward when it doesn't work or something. Yeah. It's like,
in a randomized control trial and all that.
10 psychology facts you should know. 1.
Okay.
Pretending not to have feelings can mentally destroy you. 2. The more you hide your passion, the more you fall in love with it. 3. If a baby stares at you for a long time, it means you are attractive.
The thing is, just like it can be the case. Maybe you're attractive. Maybe you're super ugly, or like your face is scaring the baby or whatever. But if the baby stares at you for a long time, from a scientific perspective, how are we gonna measure it? Like, are we gonna ask the baby like 10 years later or a couple of years later, did you find this person attractive?
No.
Are we gonna ask the baby to state if the person is attractive? How are we gonna measure it? So that's what we mean. Like we have a certain observation, the baby is staring, and then we want to know what's behind that thought. Yeah. But with the baby, we can't measure that. So this is scientifically impossible to measure.
That's true. I also just feel like they're portraying a very reduced version of what we actually have seen, where it's like attractive. Being attractive is also very subjective as it is. What we have seen is that, babies tend to look at more symmetrical faces for longer. And you can test that based on how long they look at certain stimuli. But that's the extent of what we see in that. It's not about attractive or not attractive. It's just about symmetry. Like, very objective, measurable things.
4. People who are good in math are the people who are complicated in the relationship. 5. At the age of 16...
Imagine that every single person who's good in math, is difficult in a relationship.
So true, though. I talk from personal experience. Because I'm very horrible at math, and I'm very fun to be around.
You don't know the half of you do. So welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love.
I'm gonna say one thing. I'm a clinical psychologist. I assess certain things in people or mental health of people. I don't think I analyze people more than other people. Maybe I do, and I'm not. I'm very conscious of what I think when I see other people. It's sometimes I'm thinking, this is like not. Yeah, it's not good. Like this is not. This kind of pick me or something.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's necessarily about putting time into analyzing certain people. I just think you notice certain things easier than other people because you deal with them often.
Yeah.
But it's not like psychologists go out of their way whenever they have a new connection to someone to actually be like, you know?
Sometimes we do it in the bar when we're drunk. Like, then we're like, that's by attachment. But that's, that's not because...
That's one of the lines I hate most when people use those on dating apps. Like, if you put in your bio that you're a psychologist or therapist or whatever, or psychology student, they will always hit you with the, so you're gonna analyze me? Yes, because it's a first date, so obviously I'm gonna analyze you to see if I'm gonna go on a second date, but that's not because I'm a psychology student, that's just because I'm human.
Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Majority of people cannot handle or they should not be a psychology major. If any of the things I'm about to say apply to you, you might want to rethink your major. You're so funny if you think you're gonna get rich fast from being a psychology major. If making a lot of money is your priority, do not do psychology. If you major in psych, majority of the time you have to go to graduate school and get a master's or PhD to make any kind of money in psychology. Basically, our friends in business are going to be buying a house and we're still going to be checking the McDonald's app for rewards. To build on that, you cannot become a therapist with just a bachelor's degree. You need your master's and then 2+ years of supervision work, and then you have to pass the state license. If you're just doing psychology to get rid of math, I really hate to bring it to you. Psychology is so full of statistics and research. If you hate writing stats or research, you need to find something else to do. If you just want to do psychology because you think it's an easy major, I think English is the only other major that might write more essays than we do. 50-page research paper, lab reports, and case studies. Psychology is easier from some people than others, but it's very academically intensive and it needs a lot of memorization. If you can't handle emotionally draining work, I don't know why you were even considering this, to be honest. Mental health jobs are so tough. If you're going through your own stuff or sensitive to heavy emotions, or you get burnout very easily, this career is gonna wreck you.
I also I want to talk about like the stereotype that people who study psychology, they have like these issues themselves. It's so, I was thinking about it on the bicycle today. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just, of course people who study psychology can also suffer from psychological problems because the prevalence is just very high
in the general society, not just
society.
In that major.
Yeah. So that means, it's like saying to an oncologist, like, oh, you must be an oncologist because you have cancer. And maybe, I don't know, if we could do research, maybe it will be more present in psychologists than oncologists, but that doesn't really matter. It just leaves the alone.
But I also hate that it stems from the fact that people think that people with mental issues want to go study psychology to fix themselves, when that's not at all the case. I think it's more about, what some people are going through because you've been through it yourself, so you have more understanding and empathy to want to help those people. But it's not about like, I'm going to fix myself, because that would be a very expensive and long way to try to fix yourself. Just go to therapy.
I wouldn't know how to do that. Okay, I like this one.
I'm curious.
If someone can cry, then...
None of this was valid.
Yeah, none of this is valid. And also, like, it can be a case for some people, like, specific...
But it's just like when they said, like, if someone sleeps a lot, they're probably depressed.
You know what the thing is? These are things that I could see in the clinical practice, like, for a specific person. But it's the issue, the red flag with this type of content is they're generalizing into the population. If this, then that. If this, then that. If this, then that. And before you know, there's this annoying person in the bar that's saying like, if this, then that. And if you do this and that, that means that you have unresolved trauma. I mean, like, oh, please, honey, give me a break. I'm just having a drink.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square, meaning that when they say, if you sleep a lot, you must be depressed, that's not true, but it's possible that someone who is depressed sleeps a lot, but therefore that does not mean that when you sleep a lot, you are depressed, right? Like, it's not a two-way street.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The quieter you are in a conversation will make the other person try to fill the void, and they'll likely overshare and tell you something you want to know. There's something called the halo effect, where if you have one characteristic about you that is admirable, people will assume that everything else about you is admirable too. Only 7% of communication comes from the words we say. 55% is from our body language.
I feel like those are very random statistics.
And also, where's the other percentage? Like, where's the rest? Like, you have verbal and you have non-verbal, and where's the rest?
3 things I wish I knew before choosing to study psychology. I didn't know anyone in the industry. I had no idea what I was getting my...
I think it's so funny. It's like it's a music industry. Yeah, you don't know anyone in the industry.
Like, yeah. It's an industry.
Give me your money. I can't. I studied psychology. Give me your money. I can't. I studied psychology. You studied psychology? Yes. I studied psychology. Of course I can't give you money. I have nothing on me. I'm unemployed.
Plainly accurate, right? You saw that in the previous videos. Oh, it's actually horrible.
No, it's funny. No, it's good.
I want to change like the checklists.
Okay, yeah, let's do that quickly.
This scenario can test for generalized anxiety disorder.
Yeah. Let's see.
So I'm going to present you with a scenario, and the way that you react to the scenario can tell us a lot about your mind. And the way that it reacts can be indicative of something like generalized anxiety disorder. Obviously, please go see a clinician and have an actual evaluation, but these things do have correlation in research that can be indicative of things like anxiety. So let's pretend that you get presented with a new project at work. It's a new challenge, and you've been chosen. Where did your mind go just now? Did it go to all of the worst things that could happen? How things could go wrong? How you could mess it up? Did it catastrophize? Or did it go to all the good things that could happen from this? Did it go to like how exciting this is? Or did it just go to like planning and kind of a new...
I'm already gonna... We're never ever assessing someone's anxiety based on a single scenario. It's also not a screener. We take certain assessments, but like this is not it. Also, the way that the specific situation that she gives, it's it could also be performance anxiety. Like what do you mean? Like if you're a perfectionist, this could also be indicative of being a perfectionist. Like so many things, and we need a clinical interview to assess these kind of things and not a random scenario.
If you hear the word curtain, you have ADHD. And if you hear the word purple, you have OCD. Close your eyes. I will play the sound in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Penis.
Okay, good. Because I was like, where the is this going?
What is the most effective treatment for depression? Psilocybin or mushrooms? ECT or electroconvulsive therapy? A combination of therapy and antidepressants? Or ketamine? Electroconvulsive therapy.
It's not true.
That's not true.
If you have a major depressive disorder that is there for a long time, and you give cognitive behavioral therapy, antidepressants, and it's not reacting the way that we would expect it to react, then electroconvulsive therapy might be an option to explore. But I don't think it's best working. I should look up some RCTs.
Maybe she just means that as in like of the times it's performed, how many times is it successful, but maybe it's just not performed as much as therapy and antidepressants. Like maybe on the smaller sample of studies that they have for ECT, there's a high success rate. That doesn't mean that it's something that is often done.
Yeah.
That was us reacting to some videos on Psychology TikTok. We found some, good content that was actually valid and informative, but we also found a lot of, cringe theories and just things that plainly weren't right. We had to scroll a little bit to find the bad things because we wanted to kind of use them as an example. Oftentimes when we're just casually, doom scrolling in our beds, we find stuff that is, more cringe and worse, but now we kind of had to look for it and we didn't really find the things that we would see, in our casual lives. But either way, we did find some bad things. It was very nice to film this video with Andres. It's my first time that he's actually sat down for a video with me. So how was that for you?
It was an honor being here.
Oh, thank you.
It felt very natural because I'm not thinking about who's gonna watch this.
Well,
and I think the things that we said are acceptable. They are perhaps informative.
I hope so.
If you don't agree with certain things that we said, please leave a comment. We also want
and also leave
feedback.
a like. Leave a like.
Leave a like, please.
And a subscribe.
She needs the
please,
subscribers.
please.
She needs them. That's why
I'm still
here.
unemployed.
No, it was very fun making this video actually. It's my first time ever, I guess.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, nice. If you want more content of us as a duo, leave it in the comments.
If you do rely on TikTok for psychological evaluations or advice, please don't. It's definitely a good way to explore certain topics or get in contact with people that have similar issues as you. But the best thing to do is still to go to a licensed professional and talk to them. But yeah, that was it for this video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!